come down. Ooh, you make my high come down. Always tripping when you come around. Never have to cut you out like right now. You see, I don't have to drive me. You can say that for your mama. Maybe you should smoke some. Me try the marijuana. I was never you good. The vibe was straight. Showed you a couple of things and they feelings changed. I treated you right. Everything was a gift from a time to your bag and the color on your lip.
Welcome to the Seahawks Man to Man podcast, powered by Blue Wire. Shout out to the new company. My name is Michael Sean Dugar. You can follow me on whatever Elon Musk is calling that app these days. My at name has not changed. It's also right there next to my shirt there. Shout out to the homie Sammy. On the shirt at Mike Dugar, MikeDugar. Shout out to everyone who is watching via our YouTube channel. Seahawks Man to Man is the name of the channel. Seahawks Man, the number 2 man. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit all the good buttons on there. Do the same thing on our Instagram, same thing on our TikTok. The handles are the same. Seahawks Man to Man, Seahawks Man, the number 2 man. Appreciate all the love and support on there in advance. Thank you. Thank you. Chris, go ahead and talk to him.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Christopher Kidd. You can follow me on Blue Sky and Twitter at CKIDD206, and that's CKid206.
All right, we love blowouts around here, folks. It just speeds up the whole process. My stories get done faster. Sometimes you guys have fewer questions, which is fine. That gets us through the pod faster. You guys know if you've been listening to the show for a little bit, you know me and Chris will record very late. So early recordings is better. So we have to begin this podcast with the shout out to the Seattle Seahawks for beating the snot out of the New Orleans Saints 44-13. Ended up being the final as a 31-point victory. It was over in the first quarter. I don't know. Pete Carroll would not like me saying that you can, you win a game in the first quarter, but you very much can. Chris, we witnessed it today when it was 21-0. I'm sure that there are guys on the Saints who have been part of some big comebacks, whether in college or the pros. I'm sure that there are some players on the Seahawks that have been part of some big comebacks and been on the wrong end of it, whether college or the pros. But between the 70 players on the Seahawks and the 70 players on the Saints, I think we have 140 people who could probably agree that game was finito, finished, donezo, less than 10 minutes in. So we are going to recap the blowout. We're going to answer your voicemails. We're going to answer your questions. We love doing that. But Chris, we owe something to the Seahawks today for helping us out with a good old fashioned beat down. We can always so salute to the Seahawks for that.
Absolutely. It got to a point that I'm thinking, damn, I might have to just stop taking notes. Like, this is ugly. There is nothing that I need. I get it. They are obviously there's some things they want to work on, and we can we can answer some of those things with questions. But it was a dominating performance. Special teams did their thing. For whatever reason, Kendricks can't get an interception. I don't know what it is. His attempts on these interceptions, man. He gonna get one eventually, just clean. He made up for it later in the game, but this was just a great performance, man. To be up 21-0 and you've only had 2 possessions of offense is kind of insane when you think about it. So to go into the halftime with a lead of what, 20, what was it? What was it? 38-6 at half. Just, oh my God. I don't know what more you could ask for from your team. And
yes, it was 38-6. Sorry, because Kellen Moore is a coward. Let's throw that in there. He kicked a field goal from the 5-yard line or whatever it was. You coward. Sorry, I had to get that in there.
No, you're good. But I don't know what more you would want, especially from a team. And in previous years, I've talked about how last episode I talked about how the Seahawks going up against teams they should beat. They don't always do a good job of doing that. They make the games close. They make it come down to the wire. If you guys remember last season, Daniel Jones looked like Daniel Jones of today, where his team is just undefeated. They're 3-0. Came into Seattle, and he lit it up. He played a fine football game. Not so much for the rookie on Sunday against the Seahawks with the Saints. They couldn't get much going. And
he's a second-year dude.
Oh, he's a second-year dude. Okay.
Yeah.
First-year starter, second-year dude.
Second-year guy, yeah. First-year starter.
But the Seahawks were just rather he didn't have anything. He couldn't do much. He couldn't do much of anything. And the Seahawks defense had a big role on that, had a big piece of that. And then, as I mentioned with special teams, Torrey Horton had a great day, punting all the way to the 5-yard line. He taking it back to the house. Usually, you don't want a guy doing that, but the Saints are that bad, so why not? Why not risk it, right? And you risk it for the biscuit and end up getting 6. So it was just a solid, strong win. And Mike, to your point about winning at home for the fans and the 12s, that's something they can look forward to now. You beat a really not a good football team, and you beat them. You beat them really good. You beat them down, and that's all you could ask for. I'm sure fans are tired of the games where it's 24-17 against the Saints or another bad team, the Jags, something to that magnitude. Now they've turned that corner where they just beat down on the bad football teams. No more of this. Oh, well, it's a close game. They won though, but they played maybe down to their competition. That wasn't the case on Sunday. It didn't appear that the Saints belonged on the field with them. 21-0 in the first quarter. Yeah, that's a sign that this team is just not where the Seahawks are. And that's from the penalties, how many mistakes the Saints were making, just simple things, right? We're not talking about holding or incidental plays. We're talking like focus. Guys are not where they need to be doing certain things, and the Seahawks didn't have that problem. I know Josh Jobe got flagged a few times for being a little aggressive, and I think Mike McDonald would live with that. But overall, I just thought, to your point, Mike, about winning at home in front of the 12s, that sends them a message that, okay, maybe this team is for real. Because for years it's been this trash team comes to Seattle and they make it a tight game for whatever reason. Maybe the Seahawks aren't. They're taking their opponent lightly. Whatever the case may be, it doesn't end up being, as it was on Sunday, a 44-13 beatdown. So, yeah, give a little clap of the hands, golf clap to the Seahawks for handling business at home. And now they get ready to go on the road for a Thursday night showdown against an NFC West rival in the Cardinals.
Yeah, and even if you don't even if it's not a close game, they've had some where like you probably should have beat them by more, realistically. Even the Dolphins game last year was what, 24-3, and that was the Dolphins without Tua. I forget the
Mm-hmm.
starter's name, Skylar something. Skylar Thompson. Yeah, and they made him look bad, but you should, right? And they've had some games like that in the past. Honestly, this felt like a throwback to what Pete's teams used to do. They had some games where they dropped some 40 burgers and some 50 burgers on some squads. And it wasn't always a good team. That Buffalo team they hung 50 on, I don't think was good in 2012. And I don't think that Cardinals team that they put 50 something on was very good either. And then they had, I think they skunked the Giants in the Super Bowl year, like 23-0. So the Super Bowl winning year, that is. So yeah, they've had some games where it's like, yeah, you beat this bad team that you didn't like. Embarrass this bad team. Embarrass is probably the verb that I feel comfortable using after today, because that is embarrassing. Kellen Moore should be embarrassed. His special teams coordinator should be embarrassed. Everyone who is everyone should just NFL teams should not get whipped like that. That's pretty bad, particularly when their first couple games were very close. That's the thing about the Saints. The Saints, they were granted at home, but they lost by 7, I think, to the Cardinals, and had the ball in the red zone to be able to tie or win that game in week 1. They probably weren't going to beat the Niners in week 2, but still, they had the ball down, I think 5 or whatever, with a chance to go win, and then a Bryce Huff strip sack, I believe, ended the game. So it's not like they had just been getting shellacked all over the place, so. And sometimes teams don't always handle business at all against the bad teams. I think the Browns are very bad, for example, and somehow looked up and the Packers lost today. Same Packers team, got guys this week talking about they should win the Super Bowl already in week 2 or whatever, week 3. Can't even beat the Browns, right? I know they're on the road, but still, that Browns team was bad. That's a bad team. You're going to see some lopsided scores over there. So I think that if you want to be taken seriously, you do have to, bring out the belt and give out some weapons. And you mentioned that you stopped taking notes. Thought you should stop taking notes at some point. I'm going to show my my notepad to our viewers here. I did stop taking notes. So this note that I'm pointing to here, I always do like who has the ball, the starting yard line and the time on the clock. So that says Seattle 25-yard line. I think 11:05. I think is the time on that's in the fourth quarter. You notice how everything under there is blank. I saw Drew Lock come on the field. I put my pen down.
Work here is
And
done, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, no disrespect to Drew, of course, not his fault, but I'm just saying that signal to me. All right, we're done here. Or actually, no, I think I charted a drive of Drew. I did. I charted his first drive, and then once they checked it down to George Halani on like third down, then punted, I said, okay, I'm done, and then I was done after that. So yeah, kudos to the Seahawks there. But yeah, they need to embarrass some folks. That's how you get taken seriously. You can't live on the close game thing. We saw some Pete teams do that too, and that always comes to bite you. And now, just because you blow out the bad teams, that doesn't mean you're good. But you do need to be able to do it here and there for me to believe you are good. That's for sure. We see the Rams do that. The years that they should be taken seriously. We've seen the Niners do that. The years that they should be taken seriously. And if you're going to go outside the division but stay in the conference, we see the Lions do that. You see the Eagles do that. The teams that you should take seriously do that here and there, right? Particularly when they're supposed to. So that's good. And not for nothing, one of the reasons the Seahawks wanted Mike McDonald is because his defense was embarrassing people. Like, they didn't just have the best defense in the league in the 2023 season. They had teams looking like this. The Seahawks scored 3 points on them in Baltimore. Let me look it up here in a second, but I believe the Lions that year only scored like 3 or 6, one of them. The Jaguars were a first place team that year, could not move the ball on them at all, on Mike McDonald's Ravens. And then you saw what happened to the Niners on, I think it was Christmas or Christmas Eve that year as well. It was all of these good offenses looking like they didn't belong on the field against the Ravens, in particular Mike McDonald's defense. And one of the reasons that John Schneider really wanted to hire this guy is like, I need that. Like, he got on the plane from Baltimore and was like, we need to talk to that guy. Whatever he's doing, we need that, because that used to be us, and we are no longer that. You mentioned it's been a long time since the Seahawks blew somebody out. Had time today in the press box, eating my popcorn, drinking my juice, no longer taking notes. So when's the last time they won by 30? I wrote it down. I did write it down. They beat Sam Darnold's Jets. That's in 2020. I think it was like 40-3 or something like that. Gino actually played in that game as well. Forgot about that when I was looking up the box score. So it's been a little bit. Fans weren't allowed in the stands the last time the Seahawks had a 30-point win. Now the fans are treated to their first home win. I had a player ask me today. It was like, last time we won at home, which is shows you how long it's been. Since week 12 of last season. That is brutal. They were 3-7, I believe, at home coming into this. So that was the other big, huge takeaway from this, is that you gave your fans one. Because I'd be feeling bad for y'all. It was raining when I walked in. Tickets are expensive. The line for the bathroom be crazy. Food prices is crazy. There's no parking. Like, I can't imagine doing all the stuff that people do to come to these games, whether they're coming from Canada, Portland, LA, or from Shoreline, and then you lose. I've seen it. I feel bad for y'all. So y'all deserve that as well. So Chris did the golf clap for the Seahawks. It'll golf clap for y'all, people who came to see a win, because they needed to do that. As great as it is that they're, what are they, 8-1 on the road, 7-1 on the road, or something like that. I think their only loss on the road is to the Lions last year in week 4. So as great as that is, I don't mean that much if you can't protect the crib. Like, your crib has to be protected. You can't let anybody come in your house, put their feet on your couch, right? You can't do that. Whether it's Patrick Mahomes or, like Chris has said, we've seen some bad QBs come in here and do their thing. Colt McCoy twice, y'all, twice, with 2 different teams. Colt McCoy. I'm gonna say it again. So I think that was very important to get that at the crib. It doesn't mean that their next home game, who is it? I think the Bucks, maybe. They could easily lose that too, right? But they needed this, and the fans deserve it. So it's good that they got that. It didn't need to be a blowout, but that's good too. The fans deserve to see that. Seahawks fans deserve not to have to reach for blood pressure medication every week. Sometimes you deserve to just cruise. The last couple games, it's been settled with a few minutes left, so that's great. So yeah, shout out to you guys as the fans as well for getting your well deserved, long overdue win. And then let's get into now. Shout out to you guys as well who left us voicemails, sent in questions. Let's kick it off.
Hey guys, this is Kieran from Austin, Texas. That was a super fun game to watch fairly often, and being dropped for no gain or a short loss. And it looks like the offensive linemen are holding their blocks. So to me, it appears the linebackers in the opposing defense are shooting the gaps correctly and getting into the backfield. Who's responsible for those linebackers? Is it a scheme thing where the scheme is supposed to be tricking the linebackers into shooting the wrong gaps? Is the play design not creative enough? Is it the running backs not picking the right lanes to run through? Or is it something else entirely? I love you guys' work. Keep it up. Go Hawks. Thanks.
Austin, Texas. There we go. I love.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a chart where we're getting all the questions from. I really do appreciate all the love. While we were getting to that question, I was looking up the rushing stats here. So what do we have today? I don't really care what Jacardia Wright did. No offense to him, of course. I don't really care what George did either, because George, most of his runs came in mop-up duty. So looking at Ken's runs, 16 for 38. That is not great. Yards before contact per rush, 0.3. So that means he was getting hit pretty much at the line of scrimmage pretty frequently. So that's a case of the eye test matching the numbers there. I'm sure you guys watching felt like, yo, why can't we run the ball? I think Ken and George had like 8 yards in the first half on like 9 carries. So not good. The questions about the scheme, I'm sure Chris picked up on this too when you watched the Steelers film. The scheme is not to make the linebackers hit the wrong gap per se, but you want to move you want to get the O lineman on the move so that by the time they do get to the running back or near the running back, you have someone there ready to, seal them off, or it's just a lot of space to cover. That's one thing. The linebackers are a little faster now than they used to be because they're all like Drake Thomas's size. Like when I see Drake Thomas and Ernest Johnson on the field together, I'm like, wow. Or Ernest Jones, excuse me. I'm like, wow. Linebackers are just built a little different these days. But anyway, so it's not to trick them. And as you saw in the Steelers film, or at least watching the game, linebackers who can anticipate and hit those gaps like Patrick Queen was doing, oh yeah, it can get ugly. Patrick Queen was all over the place. I mean, I imagine. Let me see. Who led the I don't have it up anymore, but you can see who led them in
20?
tackles. Was it Warner? Yeah, the linebacker.
Number 20. I think it was number 20.
Yeah, I think he's the Ohio State kid. I like him. He's also very small. Just college is just making these little. He had 13 tackles, and then Demario Davis had 11, and the Saints had 3 TFLs. It's a good day. So yeah, I think it's not a scheme issue, but we've talked about this a lot, Chris. Teams, there's a way to defeat the whole wide zone thing. There is. You need real deal like men up front on the D line, but you also need linebackers who can cover ground. And when they can cover ground and get to the perimeter, and there's nothing there, it's hard. Just second level guys in general. It's not all linebackers. Like if they have nickels that can defend the run, the Seahawks are going to have issues against them as well. So they just need to be better blocking. That's just what it is. Because if there is a critique of the game, it is that. It is, and it's not just this game either. Like the last few games, the runs that they have hit, they're not hitting that many runs that are like a staple. They're hitting some good runs, but not like they're not like wide zoning teams to death like they would intend to do. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, it was the problem in Pittsburgh. Massive problem against the Niners. They overcame it against Pittsburgh, but that's why they kind of half overcame it in Pittsburgh because Zach Charbonnet could get nothing done on those tosses, those perimeter, nothing, absolutely nothing. It wasn't his fault at all. Today, same thing. Ken's getting hit for 1 yard, no gain. And yeah, that's a blocking thing. And it wasn't just they're loading the box. There's like schematically ways that if your guys know, like, all right, let's hit this wide zone. Let's hit this perimeter run. They can get to it, and they did. Um, so yeah, whose fault is that? Yeah, they got to just be better up front. They do. That's everybody. That's tight ends too. That's the fullback. That's all that.
Hey guys, Steve from Spokane, love the pod. Mike, loving the book so far. Which one do you think is a bigger missed opportunity for the Seahawks so far this season? Watching Jalen Milroe's usage or watching AJ Barner's sneak packages? Thanks guys, love the pod.
Appreciate the love on the book. Thank you so much. Shout out to the 509. Okay, Chris, I'm got to sound like not a hater, but it just an Debbie Downer, whatever. They got to stop the mill roll thing. They got to stop that. I don't see the value in it.
I think everyone would agree with you. It's pointless. 2nd and 9. Milroe, come on in. Okay, you ran for 3 yards. Now what? Oh, Sam's back in. Just stop. End it. It sounds cool. It looks cool, but there's no value. He's not gaining anything. The defense.
It doesn't even look cool. Does it look cool?
It probably fans might enjoy it because they're like, oh my gosh, there he is, and that's it. It's a tease. It's literally a tease, and the tease is nothing because guess what he's gonna do? He's gonna run to the right. He's gonna run to the left. He ain't throwing the football. It's not. It's not as if they're play action passing and taking a deep shot and then showing the arm strength. For instance, if they start at the 20 and did a play action fake and he throws it 80 yards, okay, that would get you out of your seat. And he hits JSN for a touchdown. That would be, oh, okay, maybe I like that. But chances are teams are going to say, oh, well, he can throw it deep. I'm just going to play off. We know he's going to run. The value of it now. Kind of to your point earlier in the season, because I thought it'd be a good idea. I could see if they ran 10 plays a game for him, they really just ran him out there for one play. One play. And at this point, for what? If you guys really want to see how he plays, should have put him in there instead of Drew Lock. There you go.
Yeah, really to be honest. Yes.
If you really wanted to see what he could do, hey Drew, we know you're the number 2 quarterback, but we want to really let our rookie go out here in some real live snaps. We have a huge lead. Let's see what he can do. That's what they should have done. Because I'm with you, Mike. I just don't see it anymore. Even they pointed to him on the sideline. He was kind of like, "Damn, that's all I get, G. That's all right, man."
Yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Don't tell us on draft day, because people asked on draft day. I think multiple times. I think someone asked Jalen, and then someone asked John and Mike the day John was, the day Jalen was drafted. Oh, is he kind of like your Taysom Hill? You know, because Clint Kubiak had come from the Saints, and they were just adamant. No, he's going to be trained like a quarterback. I mean, develop him like a quarterback. He's a quarterback. And it's just like, okay, cool. He is being used like Black Taysom Hill. That's exactly what he's doing. That is for what? Now he wasn't like that in the preseason. Obviously, he was being used as a quarterback there. But what are we doing here? I just don't see I don't see how this helps Jalen. I don't see how it helps the offense. It doesn't help anyone. I don't think. You know. So yeah, dead that. That is definitely the biggest waste of time right now. I thought it was a bad idea in real time because I saw the Niners try to do the same thing with the same scheme, with the same type of quarterback, with Trey Lance. They had Jimmy G. They was like, oh, we'll build a package for Trey Lance. No, that's stupid. I think Trey ended up getting hurt or whatever, but it was dumb. It was dumb then.
Seahawks.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah, it was dumb then. It's dumb now. These guys are either quarterbacks or they're Taysom Hill, who is not a quarterback, to be clear. That's it. The hybrid thing, no, don't do that. So yeah, dead that. Either bring Jalen in to run real plays or don't. And the ones where the ones where they have Sam on the field too, it's like, come on, dog.
Well, Mike, what you mean the plays? That's the only play. I don't think every time they've done this, hey, Miller come on the field, I believe Sam has been on the field. I don't think he's been off.
Oh, that's right. Okay. And we'd have to check that, but don't matter. You text me the first one that he did, so maybe you can go back on our text and find it. If Sam was on the field for that first time against the Broncos, or not the Broncos, whoever their opening game was, the Niners. But yeah, either way, I can tell you what they're not going to do, or what they should not do, is have Jalen throw it to Sam.
I turned my TV off on that one. That's bad.
Dog, I'm gonna protest in the press box if that happens. So yeah, we don't have to spend much time on it. We got other stuff to get to, but that is the 1,000% the answer between those two things. The AJ Barner tush push is fine. I believe they're 3 for 3 on it. That's fine. These Jalen plays, get that Black Taysom Hill stuff out of here. Either he's a quarterback or he's not. But that what they're doing now is a complete waste of time.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from Idaho. Love the pod, listen to it every week. How do you guys think the Seahawks match up with the other teams in the division? Where are they at compared to the other teams, considering how they've all played in the first 3 weeks and considering injuries and coaching and all of that? Where do you see this all playing out? All right, thanks guys.
Appreciate the question. Yeah, I tweeted out the division standings. I'll probably do that every week. I didn't want to do after the first two. It's kind of whatever. But we have 3 week sample. The Niners are undefeated, even though they've played 2 games without Purdy. Cardinals 2-1. Everybody else is 2-1. The Rams had a very weird one today against Philly. I'd be pissed.
And this is the second time they've lost they lost in the snow last year because of 1 or 2 plays, and here they are yet again. Same scenario, but continue, Mike.
Yeah, no, I'd be pissed if I was a Rams fan. It's like we should not have lost that game. Like, I guess every team that lost because of some kicking stuff probably feels that way, but the Rams, that is just that's brutal.
I will say this though, Devontae Adams dropped a touchdown. If he catches it, this is not a discussion. I will say that. I know you can't really look at one specific play, but Devontae did drop a touchdown that he catches 10 times out of 10. Don't know how he dropped it. Hit him in the belly. But continue.
Yeah, that was a weird game. There's a lot of push-offs by the receivers.
Oh yeah,
that
that his first
Devon-
touchdown was a push.
Devontae pushed off on his. AJ Brown pushed up on his, and refs were just like, "Let him play."
Play ball.
Come on, dog. It's hard enough being the DB in this league. But anyway, that said, with the Rams today, the Rams are who I thought they were. They're a good team. They went toe to toe with the champs today on the road. Probably should have won, even though they didn't win. That's they can take their show on the road and play. I think they've gutted it on offense. Have gutted out against some pretty good defenses here against Philly and against Houston in 2 of the first 3 games. The Titans defense, I don't really know. It kind of seems to be not good as expected. But yeah, I believe in the Rams. I believe in McVay. Stafford is slinging it from what I've seen. I haven't watched the tape. Just some clips here and there that I've looked at for certain stuff, but not like full on game tape. You guys listening to this show for a little bit know I'm big on Shanahan and the Niners. Told Grant that when we had him. Shanahan's a good coach. He runs a very quarterback-friendly scheme. Robert Saleh is a very good defensive coordinator. I think that Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh is a top 3 offensive play caller and defensive play caller combination. I think the only ones in the running to be better are Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores. You see what they did today with a backup. Yeah, backup quarterback over there too. Beat them down over there. Beat up on the Bengals. Brian Flores had them boys locked in on defense, and then Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo over in Kansas City. That's another good. That's a championship-winning combination.
Saw what
play
they
callers.
did to Russell Wilson. Jeez.
Oh boy, yeah, it might be over.
He ain't playing next week. He ain't starting. No way.
It might be bad. It might be done over there. I don't know. But anyway, so I say all that to say I'm very high on the Niners. I know that Seahawks fans don't want to hear that, but I think it's real. I think they're a well-coached team, and that's what you can count on. As we're seeing with the Seahawks as well, though. I don't know anything about the Cardinals. They don't seem to be. I watch the Cardinals, and I never know what to think. I'm just like, Kyler's good, but he's not. I don't know about the coaching staff. I will say this: Chris in our fantasy league, I believe, drafted the Cardinals defense. And when he did that, I was like, "That's weird." But that defense, from what I've seen, is much improved. So that is a huge deal, I think, for them. But offensively, I don't really know. It doesn't seem like they care that they spent a top 5 pick on Marvin Harrison. It really just doesn't. Every time I see or read Kyler Murray talk about Marvin Harrison is just like, well, if you get the ball, he get the ball. Is what it is. I'm just like, what? What I know the whole draft pick thing shouldn't matter, right? It's all merit based, but come on, dog. His contract fully guaranteed, top 5 pick. And they just don't care at all. Meanwhile, you get like Olave got like 14 targets today. The Giants try to get it to Malik Neighbors at least, So very, very strange there. So I don't know what to make of them yet. We'll see on Thursday. But I think that the other two teams that I believe should be taken seriously have shown me nothing through the first 3 weeks to convince me otherwise. I think the key, this is my last thing on this. I'm curious what Chris thinks. The thing that the Seahawks, the reason why I couldn't put them ahead of those two teams, the Rams and the Niners, coming into the season, is because of the coaching. I do think Mike McDonald's a really good coach. I think he can be the defensive version of whatever you consider Kyle and Shanahan or Kyle and McVay to be. But there's still the offensive part. And I need to see Kubiak go toe to toe with their guys. Chris Shula, the Rams, good DC. Obviously, just talked about Saleh. The Seahawks are showing me that they can kind of get there, getting better each week, kind of on offense. Defense is humming. We'll talk about the defense, I'm sure, some of these questions. If not, I'll just go on a rant with some numbers because they're killing it. But I think that's what the thing that I need to see with the Seahawks. Can your staff, can your headsets keep up with those headsets over there in LA and San Fran? Because they're very good, and we know that. And they've looked good through 3 weeks from what I've seen. So I still think the Seahawks are probably the third best team, I would say, Chris. Maybe I feel better after Thursday.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. The Rams to me are the number one team, but the Niners are right there. They just can't stay healthy. That's their unfortunate luck. They have to fire their entire training staff at this point. There's just no more excuses.
Did they lose somebody else?
I'm just saying they've lost so many players. They're still
That's
there,
true.
but I'm just saying through 3 weeks, you don't have your starting quarterback. You don't have your tight end. Now I'm just waiting for Christian McCaffrey to just fall over with a knee injury or something. Like that's how unfortunate it is with this team. They can't stay healthy. So I will put the Rams ahead of them. And the Seahawks are right there. The Seahawks have shown me that, okay, after week 1, yeah, we saw that the Niners still have them, but the Seahawks' confidence is just growing. And I think a win over the Saints, as they did on Sunday, just makes that anger and force that, you know what? We didn't show our best against the Niners week 1, but we cannot wait till the end of the season to see them again, to show them what we're really about. And obviously the Niners will be assuming they'll be healthy, so that'll be a really fun matchup because I think that'll be deciding who wins this NFC West, in my opinion. But I just look at the Rams and just, man, they're so stacked. They have a good run game. They're running all over the Eagles, which that's kind of unheard of. People running on the Eagles, and they shut down Saquon Barkley. That usually that doesn't happen, especially last season when the Eagles ran on the round for I think 200 yards with Saquon and company. So
I
they
think
flipped
twice.
it. Excuse me, yeah. So
Saquon
they
embarrassed
flipped it.
them in the regular season and the postseason. Yeah.
So yeah, they remember that and they shut him down. They said, Jalen Hurts, you're gonna beat us with your arm. And damn near he almost did it. He didn't really surprise anyone, but he can throw the football as well. And he did a really good job. And Mike mentioned that they just lost on it just sucks the way they lost, but that's just how it comes down to it. Blocked field goal to win the game, ran it back for a touchdown. That's an asshole move. Just slide, big fella. But I get it. You ain't gonna ever score again.
Yeah, but say what was that? Was that Jordan Davis? Jordan Davis
Yeah.
probably he could play 15 years in the league and he probably would never score again.
Never, yeah. So I understood why I did that, but I think the Rams, Sean McVay has them spinning, and if their quarterback Stafford can stay healthy and Devontae Adams continue doing what he's doing, they're not gonna lose too many games, y'all. And their defense also looks really good. Their secondary is handsy. They get after the football. I saw a play today when I was watching the game prior to the Seahawks. The DB was beat, and Mike knows this is one of my pet peeves. DBs panic and don't turn their head. I'm watching this play live, and oh boy, turns his head, and his eyes got this big because he almost had an interception, but the ball was coming so fast that all he could do is put a hand up, and the ball just smacked him in his hands. But in my head, I'm thinking that is great play. That is great defensive play right there. Turns his head, is able to see the ball, knocks it away. I think it was a 2nd and long, maybe 3rd down. But just this team is locked in, and no one knows the names of their corners. I'd have to look them up. I know they got a good safety in Cameron Curl, but outside of that, the D-line is money. Their linebackers are solid. And I thought they played a hell of a game against the Eagles. It just came down to a couple of plays that didn't go their way, i.e. the blocked field goal. But their offense is humming, and their defense is definitely talented as well. So I think the Seahawks are in there, but I do think Rams are number one, right behind the Niners and Seahawks. They can fight for number two. And I think it'll really come down to that come week end of the season, in my opinion. So, and yeah, the Cardinals, they're probably going to finish.
Who knows? Yeah.
I don't trust him. Kyler didn't throw a touchdown today. Oh, he did, but he threw it. He's not consistent. He is just, I don't trust him. If there's a gun to my head, do you think Kyler Murray can do this, this, and this? I don't. I'm sorry. I don't believe in him. He's just not consistent. He'd rather go play Call of Duty. And you know what? It's a fun game, I imagine. But when it comes to NFL stuff, he's not that guy, unfortunately.
Also, looked it up. The Niners lost Bosa today. The Bosa guy hurt his knee. It's not funny, but like you're right. They got fired. That's staff, dog.
That is insane.
Yeah, I feel bad, man. That sucks.
I do feel bad because we are not fans. We just happen to do a nice podcast covering a team that the Seattle fans love. But it sucks when you see guys that are just out there playing ball getting hurt. And that goes for any team. Seahawks, Niners, Rams, Cardinals. James Conner looked like I think he broke his leg on Sunday. And he's done for the season. So while he's a physical back and that's always a fun matchup, that's not going to be for the Cardinals. They're not going to have that weapon. They have to rely on what's his name, the second back. Oh my
Benson, I think. Something Benson.
Yeah. So who's more elusive, but losing James Conner is a huge hit to this offense. They rely on him on certain situations, and he's had his games with the Seahawks where he just looked unstoppable. So we'll see what happens on Thursday and how they game plan moving forward. Because now, yeah, Mike mentioned Bosa being out. Well, or getting hurt. Yeah, James Conner's out for the season, so that's a tough blow for them. But let's get to this next voicemail.
What's good? It's Corey from Seattle. How about that for an honest to goodness belt to ass beat down at home? Amazing. But what was the kind of feeling around the guys, the locker room? What's the change in mentality for this kind of win, this kind of performance versus other things that we've seen in the past? What little things have you noticed? All right, peace.
Appreciate the love. Yeah, it's interesting hearing from a lot of guys in the locker room on defense who were just like, we got to play better. Like there is just a really high dominance is the expectation in the defense for the Seahawks defense. They expect to go out there and put belt to ass. That's what they expect, and they've played really well in these first three games. The few different styles. It's been something kind of different in each one, but they've been consistent in how they've been tackling, how physical they've been. The rushing numbers, once again, were not good for the opponent. The Seahawks still have not allowed a rushing touchdown. I keep saying I feel like I'm a jinx it, but they just haven't. This is the second straight game the opponent has just scored one touchdown, and it was garbage time today. But they still did it, and that was a good drive. But yeah, I mean, they're Kendre Miller and Alvin Kamara combined for 69 yards on 25 attempts, I think. Yuck. That's nothing. Christian McCaffrey and Brian Robinson basically did something similar. They had more yards, but on far more attempts. And then last week, Gainwell and Jalen Warren were very similar in the rushing stuff. I think it was like 69 yards and like 20 carries. So the defense is playing out of its mind, essentially. And yet, these guys are like Darian Kendrick. I didn't hear him say this, but I was reading the quote sheet they send out. Like he was like, "Yeah, I'm pissed. I should have 4 picks." And he's right. He should. And even talking to Reek today, he was like, "Honestly, we played super good, but like we're in here talking about the mistakes we had. Because they just we shouldn't have gave up. They had a bunch of penalties in the second half for no good reason. Like lifted up the quarterback. Job was flagged like 3 times on one drive. It felt like it was some bad stuff today. And that's what they're going to be. It's going to be a hard tell the truth Monday. They don't call it that, but it's the same sentiment around here. It's like, it's going to be hard. Film critiques of a defense that only gave up 13 points. And it's not lip service. It's one of those things I can kind of tell is real because I've been around almost a decade now. It's like, They have such a high standard. And I think that's why Mike McDonald, you guys can tell if you watch his press conferences and read some of his quotes, sometimes we'll be like, oh, that guy played well. And you'll ask Mike McDonald about him, he'll be like, he'll first mention the play the guy didn't make, you know. Or like remember he was really hard on like Tyrese Knight, you know,
Oh
like
my God.
as a rookie, and like, you know, it's because the standard is just so high. Like even today, I think someone asked him about Ty Okada, and he was like, yeah, you know, he would have had a sack
Mm,
if he didn't lift up the quarterback, you know. It's
yeah.
like see where Mike's mind goes though. It's like, let me think of the play he didn't make. And that's not because Mike's a jerk. It's because that's how they think in the defense. The offense is a little different, but the defense is what stood out to me in terms of like the vibe and the attitude. It's just like it's almost like that perfection speech from Remember the Titans. It's like, you know, perfection, you know, like that's what they want. They don't use the word perfection because that's kind of dangerous, but it's this idea that like, we can be great. So we got to put greatness on tape all the time. And if someone gets hurt and you come in, we expect you to be great. Like they're not treating Darion Kendrick like a Make-A-Wish kid. They're like, dog, we expect you to have 4 picks right now. We don't care that you just showed up a month ago. You should have 4 picks because that's the standard around here. When we get those opportunities, we make them. You know, uh, the Seahawks are the pressure kings. Chris talked about it last week. They pressured Spencer today as well. Would they get him twice? I think Murph had one, and then Leo and Ty Okada. I think those were only sacks today.
Yeah.
That's not gonna be good enough. Bet you Aiden Dirtay's in there right now. Like, yo, we need to get the quarterback on the ground. Chris, you know, none of their edge guys have a sack. No
No,
D Law,
they have a bunch of pressures. That's it. I think they lead the team in pressure, but to your point, no sacks.
no sacks. No sacks for D Law. No sacks for Chenna. No sacks for D Hall. No sacks for Boye. That's not good enough in that room. They're gonna be talking about that all week leading up to Arizona. And I can just tell that's real. And there's something to that, I feel like, because it just makes the standard for who you put on the field that much higher. Like you're not just gonna put whoever because people are hurt. Like we will sit guys. Like we will get real iffy about who we put on this field. You know, you don't care who's hurt. You know, but the standard is just high, and that's you can feel the realness of it. And I think that comes from Mike. I think it does. Like I think the way he answers questions is real deal. You ask Mike, guy can make not he could have 9 interceptions in a game, but if a guy had dropped one that would have had 10 interceptions, be like, yeah, man, he should have 10 picks. Like that's a Mike McDonald thing. And you can tell it's like the whole vibe of the defense that they'll never be satisfied, even if they pitch a shutout. They're like, I missed that tackle, or you know, whatever. I think that's a good attitude to have. That way you never do have that letdown when you play insert bad team here. You know, you want to put the belt to everybody. I think that's really cool to see.
Hey guys, this is Chris in Everett. I was wondering if after these first 3 games, anything has changed for you guys as far as this team's ceiling. And also, after these first 3 games, what have you learned about who this team is? Thanks a lot. Bye.
It's a good question. Um, I don't know if anything. I don't know if anything's changed. I will say that I like how Sam is playing. I thought he played fine in the opener. I thought he was actually fine. Made the right reads, got the ball where it should have gone. Um, I think that in game 2 he was Sam. You know, not great, but not bad. And I thought it was good that he finished the game strong. That's what you want to see. And then the game today, I don't think he had like what 1 incompletion for most of the game, maybe 2. He's really efficient. He's been more accurate than I've expected. You don't see a ton of like, oof, where was Sam trying to put that? You know, like if it's incomplete, it's like, you know, every QB throws incompletions. But I mean, look around the league right now, QBs are struggling, and Sam has been pretty efficient. I think he's making the right reads. His film's backing that up. Obviously, haven't watched the film of that, but you know, we've been pretty hard on Sam. I know I have coming in. I'm just like, I don't see it, man. He's just kind of just a guy, which is still kind of what he's been. But I thought that he's been better than I thought. Playing on time, making stuff happen off script, which that showed up in his film too. But he's been probably better at it than I thought. The throw to Jackson today really stands out. The first one, moving. He's been really good throwing to his left, which is crazy. He was really good on that on film last couple weeks. So I think that has jumped out. And then Chris, I'm sure you'll agree with this. The pass pro has been really good. It's probably it. I don't know if Sam was sacked today, but it doesn't feel like what we've been watching the last few years with Gino and Russ. Like this feels like legitimately decent pass protection, which I feel like fans have been begging for like a decade.
Nah, I hear you on that one for sure. I would say, yeah, nothing has changed for me in regards to the ceiling. I still think they're probably a 9 to 10 win team. I think when Mike and I did the little exercise, I came up with 9 or 10, and Mikey came up with 9, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, one thing, these first 3 games that I would say that I've learned about this team is they have an identity. They know who they are defensively. And Mike just talked about it earlier with their run defense. They haven't given up a running touchdown yet in 3 weeks. The Niners are a good team that can run the football. Christian McCaffrey and I run through that end zone. Juszczyk didn't run through that end zone. Week 2. Steelers, not a really good football team. Can't run the football. Reek Woolen saved them. I think that was a pass, but nonetheless, you get my point. The Seahawks defense is really living up to the standard that Mike McDonald has set for them, and they believe in themselves. And with that being said, they're just taking that step from winning that Rams game last season in a game that really didn't matter. They're taking that on, and they are showcasing that, yeah, we are coming and wanting to be one of the best defenses in the league. And I'm Chris Dodamas, and I imagine Mike having a stat for me about something regarding the defense. So, Mike, take it away.
Chris Damas. I like that. I was like I said, the Seahawks haven't given up a rushing touchdown. You just mentioned it as well. I was like, they got how many teams have not given up one? You know, the answer. How many teams do you think? Say the Seahawks are one. How many other teams do you think have not allowed a rushing touchdown?
Ooh, I'm gonna guess the Rams, and that
Uh,
maybe.
so you just going one other team?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough stat. I would say probably 2 teams, Seahawks and one other team. Maybe it's the Rams. I don't know who are the teams, or is the team?
There are none. The Seahawks are the
Mm.
only team with zero rushing touchdowns allowed. The Hurts had a tush push today. That's the Rams one.
Oh
So
wow, so the Rams were right there.
yeah, they're right there. Yeah. So you were on
Okay,
it with the right idea, but the tush push is a little. I don't think the tush push speaks to how good a team, how good or not good a team's run defense is. It's the tush
fair
push is
point.
the cheat code. So like, yeah, essentially, no one's really running. No one, people aren't just pounding the rock on the Rams either. And there are a few teams that have just given up one. The Niners, Cardinals, Jags, right? So this is a few teams that have played Houston. I'm noticing here that that Houston offense is it's a big fart noise
Ass.
over there in Houston. But anyway, not a Texas pod. So yeah, that speaks to the dominance there, and they expect to keep that number at 0. Did you hear Ernest Jones today in a
Yeah,
press
you would.
conference?
I'm glad you brought that up because Ernest was talking as if they just lost defensively. That's his attitude. But I loved what he talked about the physicality. He said, I mean, you can try to run the football on us, but I mean, that's your choice. You know, we coming for you guys, and that is what Mike McDonald was looking for. The linebacker, as Mike would call it, the spine of the defense, to have that type of energy and that mentality. Because when he leads that way, 10 other dudes are following. You got a healthy Spoon that plays like a linebacker. You got Leo causing mayhem. You have Byron Murphy that has taken that next step. And then you have everybody else setting the edge with Boye, Derek Hall. They're all moving as one unit. And their first aspect of the defense is to stop the run. Because once you stop the run, what does that make you? One dimensional. You got to throw the ball eventually, but those guys are sitting waiting for it. Guys are getting to their zone drops. Mike McDonald is drawing up different coverages and trying to confuse the quarterback, starting off with 2 shell high safeties, rotating one, just getting creative, sending pressures here and there, dropping fat man. It's mayhem sometimes. And the quarterback can get confused and make a throw a pass here that's picked off, gets batted up, you name it. So you're seeing the true identity of this defense, and you're just wanting the offense to catch up and have success in the first half running the football and do it through 4 quarters. Kind of what you're saying with the defense. They're consistent through 4 quarters. Now, they might have had some spurts where, yeah, they weren't consistent, as Mike mentioned, with the Josh Jobe interference, holding, hands to the face, all these penalties that came up in the game, but it's really impressive to see just how strong this unit is. And another Christodamus moment. I believe Mike might have a direct quote from Ernest talking about how this team is playing in the run defense from the post game after the Seahawks smoked the Saints.
Yeah, man, I wasn't in there for this, but I listened back to it. He said, "Listen, I love when somebody do that because you can see how he was using his hands too. He's like, look, I'm gonna make this very clear, like I'm say this correctly. This is Ernest after the game. He said, listen, it's gonna be tough to run the ball against us just because of the mindset and the physicality that we play (parentheses play with). But he said, it's this: we're gonna make it hard on you to run the ball on us, and if you do, good luck to you." Whew, that's some spicy talk right there. But they're backing it up, and he believes they'll back it up, So I like that. That's the attitude. You want to talk about what's the attitude of the defense? What's the identity? Ernest Jones. That's it.
1000%. This next one is from Big Dumper Clears. Assuming he keeps playing like this, what kind of contract is Kobe Bryant looking at?
Kobe is going to get paid. He should get paid. I won't say he's going to because the safety market is kind of weird. But that dude is a ball player. I can't wait. We're probably not gonna do standout plays this week because of the condensed schedule. I feel like we usually don't do it for Thursdays because things just happen too fast. But if we did, it would.
I'm not
I
gonna
probably
lie.
have to.
I was like, I hope Mike just didn't pay attention because in my head, watching it live, I was like, damn, Kobe, he's looking really good.
He is killing it, man. Like it is, and it's tough for free safeties because if you're doing your job, as Quandre would illustrate quite a bit, the ball doesn't come your way. But the good thing about this scheme that I like it is that it's like Mike McDonald tries to give everybody a shot. Like there's a play for everybody. Whether the guy makes it or not is whatever. But there's so much of, and Reek talked about this today when I asked him about Darion Kendrick. He was like, in our defense, if you know to play and you know the ins and outs of what we're calling, there will be times where it's obvious that you can shoot your shot because you can't do that every play. Because sometimes it's like, okay, you're going to have to just fill here, or you're just going to have to do this, or you're just going to have to set this edge, or you're going to have to take away this route. Like you have to stay true to this particular go ball or whatever. You can't cheat. Then there's going to be a play where it's like, oh, this is my chance to get a TFL. This is my chance to take a big hit. This is my chance to get a pick. And like you could see the ones for Kobe. Kobe had one today, I think, like on a little toss to the tight end, where before Rattler even look over there, Kobe is just shoo, and I think he drops 83 for like a yard in the flat. That is like it's normal. That was probably cover 3, but the trigger on it is there. He had another one that he missed today as well, but like the trigger is just there. So I mean, what does a top 10 safety make? Whatever that is, I'll look up that number in a sec. But yeah, he's the guy that probably should have paid before the season like they did Abe. Now, maybe they did and Kobe turned it down. I don't know, but they should have tried to do that because by the end of the year, like if Kobe gets his hands on a couple passes, he might probably make a Pro Bowl. Like he's that good to me. So yeah, whatever it costs, like a top 10 safety, pay him that.
Shoot, one play you didn't name was the one where they got it to Shaheed, whatever his name is, Rashid Shaheed.
Raheed Shaheed.
Oh my goodness, if Kobe missed that tackle, I think Shaheed scores. But Kobe he just stops it. He hits him and it just stops. Good form tackle on the legs. Boom. 3rd and long. Cool. He knows what he's doing. And he fits Mike McDonald's system so well. So it's, yeah. In my head, I'm like, if we do standout players, I'm sorry, Mike, I'm still on your boy. Because he stand out to me and I ain't watching the tape yet. I'm watching the live broadcast. So I can't wait to go back and watch the tape and see what else he was defending. Because I think there might have been on that sack, that Byron Murphy had, the broadcast mentioned it. I thought in my head, oh, that's a coverage sack because Spencer was back there looking and there wasn't anybody open. So I can only imagine Kobe doing his part, the corners doing their part. Ernest getting to where his zone is because I don't know what zone they were in or if they were in man. I couldn't tell, but I know it was locked up. And the young quarterback was like, "Oh my gosh, there's no one to throw to." So coverage sacks, defense. I'm telling you, it's a relationship, and it's a great relationship through 3 weeks.
Just put a number on it. I think top 10 in average annual salary for the safety right now is the Giants just paid Javon Holland 15 mil over 3 years. Yeah, by the end of the year, Hufanga got 13 mil a year from the Broncos. Yeah, if I'm Kobe's agent, yeah, man, we are starting with the Javon Holland contract. If you don't want to pay that, that's fine. We're gonna start there. That's if I'm Kobe's agent, that's what I'm doing because he's good player.
1000%. This next one is from Nova Beast Mode. Last year, I thought special teams was a weakness, and I was surprised that Harbaugh kept his job. This year, special teams looks like the strength. Is it just personnel, or did Harbaugh adapt to the NFL? Love from Germany.
Yo, dang it, I forgot how to say hello in German. Anyway, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, whew, boy. So special teams, talk about a pivot. So last year, that Jets game might have been one of the worst special teams games I've ever seen in person. That was bad. It was guys lost their jobs legitimately as soon as they flew home. Like, it was like, get out. It's bad. I haven't seen that in quite some time. And the Giants game, that block, the way they lost, which is looks like a way a couple teams lost today, was pretty inexcusable. So to go from what we saw last year to today, yeah, I do think that's a big deal. That's a big deal. I too was kind of surprised they kept Jay Harbaugh after last season, but it looked like it may be paying off. I do think the Torrey Horton return, there were some good blocks, but I think Torrey Horton is also just special. Like, I think it was funny, Chris, seeing some people try to come up with like nicknames for him already. One too early, but the best one I saw, I quote tweeted it was taller Lockett. That was funny. That is hilarious.
Wow.
That taller Lockett that's a good one. But I've been telling people when I watch Torrey in camp, he's just a really good athlete. I've been saying it for a little bit now. He's a really good athlete, uh, really good balance, and he reminds me of like a taller Golden Tate actually, because he's got Golden had like little choppier strides. I feel like because it was shorter than Torrey. I think Torrey's are longer, as you saw on the punt return, but he's so athletic and good, and it just really, really, really stands out. The fade ball. I know this is not special teams, but the fade ball was great. Like he is, yeah, that dude's he's gonna be something. I think he'd have to be like a little bit more refined, probably to be like a number two guy in like a really good offense. But right now is like the 3 and the special teamer. It's great. It's really great. Like he really does remind me of Golden, because Golden was an elite athlete as well. Golden tracked the ball really well, could jump really high, was really agile, had really good balance. He's always on balance. And I think that's really good for punt returners as well, because sometimes you see the kickoff and punt guys, sometimes they don't score because they get tripped up. Like they try to juke somebody and it slows them down so much that they get caught. You kind of see that sometimes with Ken as well when he's in open space. He jukes so wide sometimes that he can almost trip himself up. Torrey, part of the reason he scored today was because he was so on balance when he juked that first dude that he was in position to just accelerate through the hole, and he was just gone. He's just special. So I think that's part of the special teams improvement is Torrey Horton. Right, he is very, very, very good. Other stuff, I'm not a special teams expert. They showed some signs of like not good in the preseason actually, but been solid so far, and nothing catastrophic yet. Because boy, we are seeing that around the league. It is bad, bad, bad around the league. I do think one thing that seems to be like a coaching point or something that you could practice, attribute to coaching scheme, whatever, is if you guys noticed today, the Saints pretty much had to field all of the kickoffs and return them. I don't know their average starting field position, but as you guys saw with my notes earlier, I do write it down. And it wasn't just like their own 35 every time. Like it was a lot of 25s, 29s, because they were kicking it short enough to make them have to return it. And that's a skill because when the ball gets back to the 35 on these touchbacks, that's huge. The 35, that's crazy. So that's a huge field position advantage if you can have them start from the 29, the 28, the 26. They had a drive today, I believe, started at the 24. Like those are huge. So I do think that's so you couple that with the coverage part of it. Yeah, no, that I do think. Yeah, shout out to Coach Harbaugh. He gets a golf clap too. He's got his guys on it, and they know the rules. It's huge. They know the rules. Yeah, been very very good. I've been very impressed with the quick turnaround of that unit because last year, yeah, it was bad.
This next one is from Pratik Khanna. Do you think this team is way more physical than other recent teams? Also, what/who instills that culture? How exactly do they do it?
Yeah, physicality is tough. I feel it's one of those things where it's like, one, it is technique because you can't just go ahead just being reckless with your tackling and like, oh, we hit hard, right? You don't want to hit dirty. And I think that so the drills they do, the drill work is there. And I also think that there's just this mindset from the leaders, at each level. But you look at each position group and it has just dogs of tacklers, right? Let's go through them. At edge, take a second, you guys, go by NFL Plus, rewatch the condensed version of the game. Only look at number 0. That is DeMarcus Lawrence. That is a physical dude. He is very physical. You can put on the tape as if you're Aiden Durde or their linebackers coach and say, this is, if you're just talking to the edges, this is what we are. Do what number 0 is doing. Up front, you could do the same thing. You say, put on 91's tape. You see what he's doing? Tossing away centers. Chris showed that in the first standout plays, I think, against the Niners. Do what 91 is doing, right? He's not one of the leaders of the group per se, but you just have the guys who are at the top of their game, are just very good setting the tone. Go watch Ernest Jones. That's a physical dude. He just looked physical, like just I'm talking about like as a person. Like he just looked like he'll punch you in the face. I saw him punch guy in Green Bay. Got him twice, clean. Punched him in the helmet, but whatever. Tone setter. Kobe Bryant. Tackler. He is a tackler. He just has that in him. And at corner, come on, man. Y'all seen Spoon. Spoon was suplexing guys as a rookie. He suplex. Like for real, just pick up dudes and slam them. That is absurd. Right. And I think it's just become contagious when you get more guys like that. Everybody else has to try to step up. And if you don't, here's the thing. Shame is very powerful. I am sure that if you are not physical, and talk about how you create that, I'm sure if you're not physical, you're getting called out. And some guys just don't handle that well. Some guys don't handle, and some guys will just do whatever the standard is, so they're not getting called out. Like I don't want coach yelling at me because I didn't tackle, because then it's like that get to you. Some guys, shame is strong. I bet you there's a lot of shame in that defense in a good way of guys who aren't physical, guys who missing tackles is not necessarily inherently not physical. Some guys are just strong, right? Or sometimes you just take a bad angle or whatever. But you can just tell there's an attitude of like, hey, very similar to the LOB days in this regard, where it was just like, you're not playing to what our standard is. Our standard is what 31 is doing. Richard Sherman had a story on The Athletic. He did like a guest kind of article for us, and he talked about the best leaders he's played with. And in that, Cam Chancellor was referenced. And Sherm talked about the way Cam threw around his body That he was like, that's why you see me doing the same thing. Because he's doing it. I gotta live up to what 31 is doing. If he gonna play like that, I gotta play like that. Because that's how we play. You know, you see that with the Seahawks now. They're gonna have some games where the other guys break tackles and juke guys. It happens. Kobe missed a tackle today, but he also had a great tackle today. You know, like there's just this rapport, chemistry, culture, whatever buzzword you want to use, that is in the building. You know, and it is getting there on the offensive side too. I don't think it's just the defense, but it's really showing up more consistently on defense. Like what Ernest Jones just saying, like we're just gonna run on. If you want to run on us, good luck. That's an attitude. You know, that is some special like commitment to the identity. It feels like. So I think having those guys, having shame, you know, again in a good way, is why you see a very physical team. I don't think it's like LOB physical quite yet, but it's got the ingredients there. Cause yeah, anybody getting called up if they not Ty Okada was hitting today. You know, Ty Okada just speared Brandon Cooks in the air. I think it was Brandon Cooks. Like yo, y'all thought Ty Okada was a domestic terrorist after the first 2 weeks. Plays today, come in here and spear somebody. You know what I mean? It's contagious in there, and that's really good to see.
This next one is from Ryan Turner at Turns 44. Gino took 50 sacks last season. Sam has taken 3 so far through 2025. This is one aspect of effectiveness and competency from Grubb and Gino through to Sam and Kubiak. What are some major aspects you are seeing a trend that are sustainable this season now that the Seahawks have 3 games under their belt?
I don't know if the pass pro will always be this good, but I think it has been very good. I don't think that this is why I try not to call out any outlets per se, but this is why you don't really see me quote PFF almost ever, really, unless I'm like specifically doing some DB thing that I need. Mostly passer rating, to be honest. Um, but I really don't use their grades for like O line and stuff. Like I get it, they know ball. I'm not saying they don't, but like the Seahawks O line, I don't think is like getting a lot of love on PFF. Just watching these guys, I'm just like, no man, they're holding up when they're supposed to hold up. It's not that Sam's never under pressure; every quarterback is, but I'm watching a good unit, you know, and I'm watching Sam like understand the scheme really well and know like, okay, this needs to go here, this needs to go here, you know, okay, 1 to 2, bang, get it out. 1 to 2, bang, get it out. You know, he went through some reads today where I was like, oh, it's really solid, you know, stuff where you could kind of tell, okay, this wasn't the first read, but the linebacker was there, so let me do this. The linebacker was here, let me do that. Like, uh, yeah, I think Gino could do that in this scheme too. I think for some reason, and you're kind of seeing it there. I'm not going to spend too much time on the Raiders, but I've watched them quite a bit. It feels like now. It does feel like for some reason when these coordinators get Gino, maybe this is his fault or I don't know. They just want to do this run this pass heavy offense every time. I don't have the numbers, but I bet you Gino is probably top 5 in dropbacks. I don't know why. It's weird. They're just hucking it, just like Grubb was. Maybe it's just because he keeps getting college coordinators. Is Chip Kelly's the OC over there? I'm not sure. But people see Sam and see, okay, let me build a quick game offense for him so he can get rid of it. Because if he holds it, he won't be good. So they see Gino and they're like, he can stand back there and throw. It's weird because I think if Gino was in this scheme, he'd be doing some of the same stuff. But he's not. So I think it's really O-line's been better. Gray's been good. Really like what I've seen from Gray on tape. I think Sundell's been good. Abe's been good. I think Charles been nails. I think the pass pro has just been better. Sam getting the ball out. And last thing, Jackson's always open. So if the play's for him, put that thing over there. You know, Jax is killing it. I looked it up. Chris, I think Jax either leads the league in receiving or is like
he's right
number
there.
2.
Puka Nakua passed him up today when he had 118 yards. So he's up to, I think, 333. And then JSN's right behind him, if I'm not mistaken. So he's right there. He's top 3 for sure.
Correct. Yes. I'm looking at it now. Puka has 333. Jax has 323. They are the only receivers over 300. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, both those Jax is like he's killing it. Yeah, that is special stuff over there. But yeah, I think that's why. And I think some of this is sustainable, some of it's not. I think that one thing that could get them is a team with a really good interior pass rush, but I'd have to really scan the schedule to see if they have that. If not, I think a lot of this is going to be kept up as long as Sam doesn't get uh too rattled back there. And so far he has not been.
This next one comes from the Big Ginge. With the depth in certain positions appearing to be good, do you think John Schneider trades a bit of it before the deadline if this streak of dudes showing up week after week in place of being, I don't know, maybe a big name?
No, I think if anything they might be buyers, as opposed to sellers. The Saints should probably be sellers. That's not a good team. Uh some people if you need like D-line help, you should call the Saints. I actually think their D-line is pretty solid. That's why Ken 38 yards, something like that. Yeah, I think on 16 attempts. That's why that was. Uh no, I do think though the depth is they have some depth, but I do really I wrote about it a little bit with Job. Really can't say enough. I wrote about Job this week on the Athletic. Go check that out. And I'm going to write about it again by the time this pod comes out as well, because Darion Kendrick is confirming this as well. There really is just this commitment to the standard, dog, of like you can be the guy any week. The guys in the practice squad really feel like, even if they're on the practice squad or just not playing, they feel like it can be my week. I can get called up, I can get called on, and it's my time to shine. I love that they don't call the practice squad the practice squad. I love that they call it the ready squad. It's just a change in just one word change, but it really means everything. Like, you're the ready squad. What's that mean? Stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready. It's very impressive with the depth there. And the guys are gonna make mistakes, and there is a little bit of drop off in talent, of course. I think Tyler not as good as Jay Love, right? But they whipped ass today like they had Jay Love and Spoon out there, and they didn't, So I think there'd be more of a drop off if their injuries were on the D line, I think, or at linebacker. Knock on wood. But in general, nah, they got to hold on to this depth because as you're seeing around the league, as you're seeing around the division in the conference, one play and guys can be cooked. Hamstrings, ankles, uh, knees, whatever, elbow, shoulders, knees and toes, whatever. So I hope John ain't looking at this and being like, we can get greedy here. I wouldn't do that. Hold on to these guys because if you really want to be a championship caliber team, they're not one right now at least. You're gonna need everybody to have. You're gonna need all hands on deck. I think because it's to play this physical style, guys are just gonna naturally get hurt. That just kind of is what it is. Football hurts. So yeah, hopefully John is not thinking that way.
This next one is from E's World. She starts off stating she loves the pod. Appreciate the love there, E. What do you guys think is the biggest thing the Seahawks have to work on?
Yeah, it's still that run game, man, and specifically the runs that are supposed to be their bread and butter. Got to see them hit it with more consistency, man. It you just really do. Chris, the yuckiest, I think the worst tape we've watched thus far. Well, it's only 2 games, but between the 2 games of tape and then the live, the worst thing I think I've watched so far is Zach Charbonnet's runs from week 2. That was some of the most disgusting stuff I think I've seen. It had nothing to do with Zach. I was watching that like, yo, did these guys not like Zach? Did he not buy the O-line dinner? Like, what did he do? Like it's just this stuff just looks bad. Now, some of that was Patrick Queen being very good. And Cam Hayward, they got good players. Every team does, but uh it was just bad. And some of the stuff today from Ken on his runs, a lot of the perimeter stuff looked equally as bad. I have to watch the film to really know if that's Ken or if that's some other guys. But it just they got to fix that. I think Mike McDonald said last week, if we can't hit the wide zone runs, we're going to be in trouble this season. And he's right. It's not that they've hit zero. Ken Walker just scored on third and goal from the 19 on a toss, right? They can do it, but it's not killing teams the way they expected. They can be much, much better. And at the very least, stop having these runs that just go nowhere. Like it's one thing if Ken's just back there dancing, which
Hmm.
he doesn't do much of this year. He cut back today, and I get why he cut back. That also I think was like second or third in a million when he cut back, but they gotta be better at that. They have to. Because a better team might have been able to overcome that 21 nothing lead today. There was room to do it. And the Saints just ain't built like that. Like if the Saints had got a touchdown at the end of the first half, I think it could have been like maybe a different ball game, but no. But yeah, you got to run the ball better. Got to run it because now we've had 3 games and they haven't been able to really run the ball in 2 of them. That's a problem.
That's a good point. This last one comes from Eric Wall. The last 2 games I haven't been able to watch. Do you think I should keep not watching so the team can keep winning? Also, what's the weirdest football superstition you've heard?
I can't think. I have to think about the weirdest. I haven't. Well, I did like when I was researching the book that Marshawn would drink Hennessy before games. That was
That's
cool.
wild.
Yeah, and I don't know if I would count that as a football superstition necessarily, because the more I've learned about Marshawn, he seems to drink Hennessy before he does anything. So that might that
It's
might
just his
just be,
thing.
yeah, his get down. No matter what he's doing, it's like, oh, Hennessy. It's like that Cat Williams stand up bit back in the day. He's like, yeah, so some black people, that's how they get down. My birthday, Jesus' birthday, your birthday, we're drinking Hennessy. That's it. That's it. So I have to think on that. But yeah, well, no, I won't say stop watching the games. I will say make sure you watch because Chris, I think everyone should be watching the Seahawks defense. That's a treat every Sunday. It really is. I just can't talk enough about how I really think I'm just so excited about what I'm seeing because of what we had to watch in the beginning of last year with the players that were on the team that didn't make it to Christmas, that they had to get rid of for reasons that are obvious. We're watching some good stuff. We're watching some really good stuff in the run game. We're watching some really good stuff in coverage. What they have today? 6 PBUs or something. Like it it's good. It's good ball, man. And you see it when the scheme is really working. It is it is some special, special stuff. It reminds me a little bit of what I think the Chargers against Geno and them on Monday night had like 13 pass breakups or something. Geno was forcing some tight window throws. It really skewed that number quite a bit. But in general, they're running the same scheme down there, and you can see how the DBs just have all these opportunities to get plays on the ball. It's great stuff. The trench play is really solid. And you know what people are missing out on, Chris, if they're not watching the games? Is this Jackson Smith and Jigba guy. This is a guy. He's a guy.
He's
He's
emerging.
good. He's here. He is here. Like it almost felt like he had a quiet day. What do you have today? 100?
118. Yeah. Think so.
Look up what Jackson had today.
Pretty sure he did. Am I
I
bugging?
don't think he went over 100 because I would have put that in my story that it would have been his third
Oh.
straight day over 100.
So he
must have just
didn't.
got really close. He had 5 catches for 96. Yeah, man.
Jesus.
And did you guys see? Sorry, this question wasn't even about Jax, but did you guys see the late hands on the 45-yarder? That
Beautiful.
he is. Oh my God! I haven't seen a slow mo of it. I just saw it in real time because that ball was coming towards where the press box is. So I really saw the whole thing develop. It was great, and I'm just looking at Jax. Once I saw the ball up, I'm like, let me just look at Jax because I'm like, he's double covered, kind of. So I'm like, this could be a little iffy. But that Jax just ran, had his hands to his side, and just. I said, "Oh, that guy is special. It's just so natural. It is so natural for him the way he catches that ball. If you missed any of the games, just watch him for that. Just go watch Jackson. That dude is very, very good. He makes everything look natural, makes everything look easy. The one ball he didn't catch today was I think Sam's only off target throw. So You can see like he's getting open, doing his job. So yeah, watch him win routes. I mean, even the ball he caught on Ramsey last week, Ramsey's hand is in there. He just make it happen. Yeah. Please watch. We probably won't do standout plays this week because the week is so condensed. Got Thursday night football. But if we did, I'm sure, Chris, we'd have a lot of Kobe Bryant, probably a lot of Josh Jobe non-penalty reps because Josh is on it. I mean, that goal line PBU today, the third down
That
one,
was beautiful with the left hand inside. Oh yeah, that was
it's textbook. Yeah, that's textbook stuff. Don't hook the defender with your right hand, but get your left hand in there. Oh, come on. That's textbook stuff. Yeah, they had what the Seahawks are putting on tape, really mostly defensively though. It's honestly, Chris, what we people probably would have expected coming in. The defense is good, Jax is good.
Yeah.
Like honestly, the defense is solid and Jax is on it. Like those and Jax is sick today. They're talking to him in the locker room. He holding Pedialyte. I know what that is. I've been there. I've been the type of sick he was. And yeah, you gotta get them fluids. But yeah, if you haven't watched the games, go get the NFL Plus, rewatch. Maybe they're on YouTube. I don't know, but yeah, because we're watching some very good ball today. I can't wait to watch the film. I wish we would have time for standout plays. That's why I keep trying to just rattle some off here now, so maybe we can clip them up, put them on like our socials. But yeah, we're watching some good ball. Mike McDonald has those guys playing like they expect to be the best defense in the league, and that's without Spoon and J Love. Ty Okada and D'Anthony Bell,
And Kendrick.
and Darion Kendrick secondary playing really well. I like it. It's very impressive stuff.
I did remember, and I looked it up to confirm, but Patrick Mahomes, I know it's not a Seahawk related one, but he wears the same underwear to every single NFL game. So that is kind of
as a superstition.
A superstition. Yeah, that's. I remember him saying that. I was like, "That's disgusting." But I mean, at least he washes it. But at what point do you just get rid of him? So I don't know if he's gotten rid of it, but I know this article came out in 2023, so I would imagine he's still doing that. So that's a very weird.
Not do that.
He got a couple of Super Bowls, Mike. It ain't too bad for him.
Yeah, he's also got blown out in a few of them as well. So maybe like he ain't he lose Super Bowl. It ain't close. He getting smoked out there. Yeah, I feel like I was gonna ask some guys about that for a story once. Some guys eat a certain thing. A lot of guys just have to take a nap at a certain time. A lot of prayer. A lot of guys are really praying. Text from their like high school coach. Then they get older and it's like FaceTime with their wife or kids, stuff like that. So I got to dig into that a little more. But that is nasty. That's disgusting. Wearing the same drawers. That sucks. So yeah, we're not doing it. Yeah, I'm not doing it. So yeah, was that the last one?
That was it, man. We appreciate all the love and support. As Mike alluded to, this week is a little crazy because of Thursday night football, but we'll give you all some content after this. Hopefully, we'll make something work for sure. But we appreciate all the love and support. Make sure you guys follow us on TikTok, Instagram. That's Seahawks, man, the number 2 man, and then Mike. I know you got a book out. Go ahead and plug it one more again.
Where's it? Let me grab a book here. All right, the franchise, Seattle Seahawks, a curated history of the Legion of Boom era. Is available wherever books are sold. You can also buy them from me if you're at the game or something like that. I'll always have some books on me. That includes on the road too. If you're going to the Cardinals game, I will have some. I'm not gonna have a bunch, but I'll have some on me. So let me know. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, wherever. Please support. I appreciate those who have supported. It means a lot. Thank you. If you buy one from me in person, yes, I will sign it. If you would like me to mail you a signed copy because you do not live in Seattle, we can do that as well. Just DM me, set it up. I ship some out usually at least once a week to people, some signed ones. So just let me know, or I'll have my wife do it. But either way, I sign them. So there we go. So yeah, man, I'm loving watching these guys. Getting a little Legion of Boomy vibes. Yeah, here from the from the defense, particularly with the physicality and stuff. Don't want to get too far ahead because the Saints do suck, but they're doing it. They do, man. They
Oh, yeah,
they
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 bad
they
football
do.
team.
Yeah, it's just bad, and they looked unprepared. Kellen Moore doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing. He goes for it on 4th down twice, and then he turns into David Shaw mixed with Pete Carroll in the back half of the game. I'm like, you're kicking, you're punting. I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, it's this part of that is the Seahawks. They made them look that way, but yeah, that's a bad team. The Arizona game will be the real test, I think. Yeah, I think not the first real test. 'Cause I think that Steelers game was a test as well. But yeah, that'll show if these guys are as good as they think they are. Because Chris, let me tell you right here, these guys think they're very good. These guys saw this game. It was like we should do this every week. I'm like,
All
okay,
right.
sure. Go ahead, go beat up on Kyle. They really need to do this, Chris, in Thursday night in prime time. Do this in prime time, and then the Seahawks will start getting that. Now we talked about this before the season too, but they do something like this, maybe not to this extent, but just do it in prime time. They're gonna start getting a lot more love. Like,
For the national
that-
media.
yeah, because right now only like people who live in the West Coast, local journalists, and then like probably like Mina Kimes really feel like the Seahawks are for real. But when they do it on Thursday, propaganda will get all-time high. So hopefully they can do that. And we'll definitely have our post-game show after that. It'll be a late one as usual. But yeah, we're going to do it. Appreciate the love and support.